Your name, please.
Bertin Guillory.
And Bertin, you served in Berlin, Germany in the U.S. Army.
That's correct.
When were you there?
I was in Berlin from 1983 to 1985.
And what was your rank there?
I was an E4 specialist.
And what were your duties?
I was COMO, it's called Combat Signaler. So I handled radios, and back then we had a lot of wire. I don't believe they use much wire now. We use wire for telephones and radios.
Were you married while you were there?
I was single. I was 18-year-old and single right out of high school.
Would that have been different than if you were been married there?
Probably. It probably would have been different. I probably would have seen things differently then. But 18-year-old, I think it was a good experience.
What was it about the time you were there that made it special, a special assignment for you?
The people, the military people, and the Berliners. I mean, the military people were just outstanding. You know, from the moment I hit the ground there, everybody just kind of welcomed me. I remember our sergeant that really wasn't in my platoon, but he took the time to show me around Berlin. The Berlin people were great. Everybody I met, were just always nice. I remember going to like stores and having like an older German woman, point me out if I'm doing something wrong. And so I really appreciate that. From the moment I set foot, I just thought everybody just welcomed me into Berlin.
So you think the general sense about Berliners was they kind of liked Americans?
I believe they did. I believe they liked us. They liked us being there. There were plenty of mornings where we went down their neighborhoods, doing cadence in the morning, early in the morning, and I never heard of any complaints about that. So yeah, I believe they loved us being there.
Was there any memory that stands out to you of your time in Berlin that you can share with us?
There's one memory that stands out, and it was in a training exercise. It was in West Germany, and I don't remember the city. I want to say Hammersburg, but I'm not sure if that's really a place or not. But I just remember I was in a Jeep, and we got lost. I won't say lost because we don't get lost in the Army, but we took a wrong turn, and we cut across a field. And I just remember a German a man coming out, and we thought he was going to be mad because we didn't cross his field, but he gave us 2 beers. So it wasn't that he was mad at us. He was just happy to see us there, and he pointed us to the road that we needed to be on, and we were on our way. He waved at us, and he had no problem with the fact that we drove across his field. And so that was just special that he, we went across his field, left Jeep tracks on his field, but to him, that wasn't a big deal. It was more important that we were there, and he wanted to show his appreciation.
Looking back on your Army experience, was there anything special about being stationed in Berlin?
Just being in Berlin was special. I mean, you learn from when you first get there. In the Army, you have your 2 weeks. I believe the School of Standards, where they teach you everything about why you're there. They show you around West Berlin, and then they take you to East Berlin. And you see the difference. And so, that once you
describe that difference to somebody who's never been there.
My best description is going from a colored movie to a black and white movie, because West Berlin was just so full of life. Things were open late, just the people were vibrant, happy, you smiled. You went to the east side, things, you didn't see a lot of colors. You have those old cars, I forgot what they call it, the East German cars, driving around. People just didn't seem as happy. We go over there and just, we're happy, we're smiling, we're walking down the streets and we're happy, we're smiling, and they're not, and some, they have tried to avoid us unless they, had to speak to us.
If you were to talk to somebody who served in Berlin but doesn't belong to BUSMA, would you give them any reason to join?
I would tell them they're missing a lot. I mean, each time I come, I've learned something different about Berlin. Being in Berlin as an 18-year-old, what I wanted to see and what I did was like a lot different than when I go back now. It's a different experience. And so I think if you were in Berlin, you're not part of BUSMA, you're missing a lot. I mean, when I first got here, I was able to talk to some of the veterans that were here in the 60s and to hear some of their stories and what they went through and what they saw. It's amazing. And so you got so many different generations from people that was here before the wall, during the wall and after the wall, and just to hear all the different stories, and things that were going on while you were there that you might not have known, it's good. It's really, really good. And so I enjoy it.
Bertin, thank you for sitting down with us and talking to us. We really appreciate it.